I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I can't believe I'm sitting here. Thank you. Okay. This is my first workshop. Oh, thanks. I'm just so excited. I wanted to ask you about health. I go into the workshop that you talk about in the book, and I get so excited. I can feel things moving and feel like sometimes it's there. I see my body healing. I have arthritis that is really painful. But then when I'm out of the workshop, I have doubts, and then I get to hurting, and I go to my Aleve bottle, and it's like, when is this going to happen, And then I say, okay, you're healing.
Is there an Allow bottle? Take one of your old empty Aleve bottles.
Yes.
And make a new label for it and write on it Allow.
Oh, okay.
And set it right next to the Aleve bottle. And every time you take a little Aleve, take a little of Allow.
Oh, cool. Yeah. But I was hoping that, I go through the day and I remind myself I'm healing, and I visualize my moving with ease and stuff, and I sometimes think if I had more things to say or
well, we'll give you
thoughts.
something. We'll give you a basis of understanding that will really serve you.
Okay.
First, we want to say you're doing fine. And next, we want to say that quantifying this journey is what you're about. And you're well along the way, but like you say, when the physical discomfort is there, so the evidence of your vibrational improvement isn't obvious to you, then you wonder, and when you wonder, you turn upstream, so you slow the process. So the key is to stay consistent. When you allow yourself to stay pointed toward what you want for longer spurts, then the resistance doesn't show up so much, and you get to where you want to be, to the improved manifestation, more quickly. So here is the new way of looking at this that we think you're going to find a lot of relief in. So we said it earlier that if you've got some resistance going on in your vibration and you don't know it, and you don't do anything about turning downstream, don't worry, it will become more. And if you still don't recognize it and do something about it, it will become more. We've been saying to doctors, a lot of them lately in fact, that when you are not so much looking for the cure, but instead are looking for the vibrational cause, now you're going to be onto something. Most people, when they feel a little negative emotion, no real reason to look for the vibrational cause, because negative emotion is normal. Even when it gets bigger, no real reason to look for the vibrational cause, because negative emotion is normal. Even when it gets bigger, no real reason to look for the vibrational cause, because negative emotion is normal. But once it moves in to a manifestation that's painful or diagnosable, then you're usually willing to look for the vibrational cause of it. And that's the thing that we want to call your attention to. The current condition, this label called arthritis, is a manifestation, but it is nothing more than a vibrational indicator. And in the same way that when you had negative emotion, you could have turned downstream or upstream, you didn't. When you had more negative emotion, you could have turned downstream rather than upstream, but you didn't. You had more negative emotion, you could have turned downstream or upstream, but you didn't. Now you've got another indicator, just a little stronger than before, and you can still turn downstream if you want to, only now you have more reason to do it than ever before. Pain in your body certainly would be a catalyst for that. The difficulty is that the pain itself sometimes turns you upstream. So you've got to find a way to separate the physical discomfort from the turning downstream or upstream. You said, I want to find a way to heal myself, and we want to project that healing in and of itself is an upstream statement, because healing is looking right at the illness and trying to overcome it. So when you're healing or attempting healing, you always grab hold of those oars and turn upstream. where we want you to have the understanding that the wellness is yours to be had, and it's already in your vibrational escrow. In fact, you are weller in this vibrational escrow than you've ever been, and all of this recent discomfort has caused a wellness and a feeling good in your vibrational body beyond that which you've ever lived before. And if you can relax and allow yourself mentally and emotionally to turn downstream on a consistent basis, you will receive the feeling of relief as this discomfort lifts off of you. Really, you will. So, I have this manifestation of arthritis, which is an indication of my vibration, which I can change. Now, feel that. I have a vibrational indicator which I can change, which will bring different manifestations. Feel that? I have a vibration going on which I can change, which will bring different manifestations. I have arthritis, which is an indicator of vibration, but I can change my vibration, which will bring different. In other words, there are so many physicians or scientists that will say, once you receive a certain amount of decline in your body, you can't go back from it. And we say, that is ridiculous. You can get to wherever you want to be from where you are. But so many don't do it that it makes the physicians sure that they're right when they say you won't do it either. But they're wrong, they don't know. But the reason that they feel so sure is because most people who have this vibrational indicator don't listen to it as an indicator, and so they don't change their vibration. There is a moment in time that you can vibrationally correct. And it is so much more likely that you will correct it. Now you've had this discomfort, and now you've built this more fantastic wellness vibrational escrow. It's more likely for you to be well now than you were before you got this uncomfortable experience. So, what's in my bank account right now is a manifestation. How my body feels right now is a manifestation. The kind of relationship I have right now, or ships, are manifestations. What does a manifestation mean? What is it? It's an indication of vibration, period. You say, oh no, mine's more. Mine's real life experience. Mine's the culmination of everything that I've come to. We say, no, it isn't. It's a point in time. You've practiced the vibration. You've practiced it and practiced it and practiced it and practiced it until you got so good at it that things manifested around it. But it's only a vibrational indicator. That's all it is. So, we think you've got that, yes? Does it diffuse whatever is? So, I have millions and millions of dollars. That's my manifestation. Well, when you've got millions and millions of dollars, and you keep focusing on having millions and millions of dollars, so you offer a vibration about millions and millions of dollars, doesn't it make sense that you'll keep having millions and millions of dollars? But if you haven't got enough money to pay your rent, and you keep focusing on not having enough money to pay your rent, doesn't it make sense you're going to keep not having enough money to pay your rent? When you understand that what you're living is only an indication of what you've been offering vibrationally, and you have control of what you offer vibrationally, now do you understand why what is doesn't mean diddly squat? It's just the jumping off place from which you decide what kind of vibrations you now want to offer. That's all it is. So, what kind... Yes. So what kind of vibration do I want to offer? What's the story that I want to tell? So you say, all right, I have this manifestation. And we want you to tell us, how do you feel emotionally about this manifestation? Things don't just happen to you. Things do not just happen to you out of the blue. They are not hereditary. They are not viral. They're not swarming in. Nothing is asserting itself into your experience. Everything that you are living, from emotional to the physical reaction to the emotion, everything that's happening to you is self-induced, every bit of it, which means you're in charge of this manifestation and the next and the next and the next. So the key is to make the next vibrational offering different than the one that got you to this one, you see. You like that? Yeah. So now, what is the emotion that surrounds this indication? And that's all the arthritis is. It's not a disease. It's not a condition that's lasting. It's not the statement of who you are. It's just an indicator, not bigger than the one on your gas gauge. An indicator. So what emotion does it indicate?
I think it hinders me. It slows me down. I get afraid that I won't be able to do certain things, so I hold back.
All right, so has there been any of that going on before that? There has. You just need to find it. In other words, those feelings that are at the basis of this manifestation were present before. Can you identify any things in your life apart from the arthritis that feel like that too? Do you ever feel like you can't do something, like you should hold back from it, like you might be inadequate or not prepared to do it, that you might not have enough resources to do it? Have you ever been feeling that way?
Yes.
So can you see the association? What else?
Yeah. I worry about if it's going to get worse and what the future will be like. And
so insecurity seems to be the vibrational basis of this indication. Not seems to be, it is. So are there things you can remember that have pointed to that same insecurity?
Yes, I think a lot about as I'm getting older, retiring, and if I'll have to move to a cheaper state to live. And
so you've been having those insecure thoughts and just living with them, because after all, you can't change getting older. So you've been beating the drum of that, and we say, don't worry, it will get bigger. So you beat the drum of it, don't worry, it will get bigger. So you beat the drum over it, don't worry, it got bigger. So all it is just a bigger indicator. And what is the indication? What is negative emotion indicating? It means you're thinking thoughts that don't jive with what you really know. In other words, the eyes of Source are looking at your life entirely differently. Source is looking at you in this way. You are moving through time, everyone is, but you have all of the resources of the universe at your fingertips. You have cells in your body that are constantly regenerating, and so there is no reason for physical decline. You are a being who has come forth with great purpose, and you have so much in your vibrational escrow, enough to keep you happily romping forward every day of your experience. That's the way Source is looking at your now and your future. Your story is kind of a different story. And when you tell that different story, you cause discord in your experience, and that discord is what is causing this indication that the doctors are calling arthritis. Isn't that good to know?
Yes.
All this is an indication of my screwy thought. When I let things make me feel insecure, I've got a separation in my vibration, and if I do it long enough, my physical body is going to show me a picture of that insecurity. So if someone says, how you doing? Is it softer for you to say, I've got insecurity, than for you to say, I've got arthritis? Because it's really the same thing. Insecurity, well, maybe, now, we're onto something. Do you think you can get over insecurity, or do you think insecurity is a fact of life? This is the big question. You see, to us, insecurity is just a temporary contradiction in your vibration. Just like guilt's just a contradiction in vibration. Just like worry or anger is just a contradiction in your vibration. So let's play it that way. Would you rather say to someone who says, how you doing? And you say, I'm angry. Would you rather say, I'm angry, or I have arthritis? Which do you think is the softer statement?
I'd rather say I'm angry.
Of course you would. And you'd rather say, I have patterns of insecurity, which I can change right now. And that's the point that we're making with you. You don't have anything other than patterns of insecurity. That's all you've got. So when you see the doctor and he says, you've got arthritis, you say, no, I don't. I've got patterns of insecurity. And while you're telling me that most people that are at this stage decline, I don't have to get more insecure. I can become more secure. I can change my insecurity to security. And then don't tell him it will upset his apple cart. But when you do that, the arthritis will go away. Because arthritis cannot abide in a vibration of security and well-being. It can't happen. It can't be, you see. Look at people who are on top of the world, who are high in some manifestation that is thrilling to them, and notice that that's what they've been talking for a long time. They talked it, lived it. So you talk it, live it, whether you want it, or don't. In other words, whatever you're talking about, you got to start telling the story the way you want it to be. And that's what we're trying to diffuse here with this manifestation is only an indicator. You act like your manifestation means something really important, like, oh, it was who I was meant to be, or oh, it's the patterning that was set forth since my birth. Oh, I've been molded into this by the parents who have known me. Oh, it's a proclamation of my worthiness unto the heavens, unto the God in the sky. Oh, we say, no, it isn't. All it is a culmination of how you've practiced your vibration. That's all it is. Don't like it? Change it.
Okay.